All right, I'm live everywhere. Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Brooke Goldner from Goodbye Lupus, and I'm here for my weekly opportunity to help you with your questions about your health, about diet, about recovery, all the things that you need help with. Um, I have a lot on my mind today, actually. It's only Wednesday, and I don't know, there's been some stress going on. So I'm going to try to communicate it to you in a way that maybe helps you out. I know normally what I talk about here is about using nutrition and lifestyle and everything to get yourself healthy, and it is vital, absolutely. But I also think it's important to address the medical side of things. A lot of folks, by the time you see me, or you've done the research to find me, unless you referred to me, you're already pretty sick. I talked to someone today whose kidney function is down under 10%, and her doctors want her to get dialysis to save her life, and she doesn't want it, and she's refusing it, and it's causing her to fight with her family. And I told her, at this point, listen, your kidneys have a job. They're supposed to filter your blood. If your kidneys can't do their job, then you can die before we have a chance to get the nourishment in to save you from the lupus and try to get your kidney function up. And I've gotten people off the transplant list. I've gotten people off of dialysis using my protocol, but we need the time to do it. I think a lot of times when people become pro natural health and nutrition, they become anti-medicine. And some people get mad at me for not being anti-medicine, but I am a medical doctor. And medicine saved my life. For 12 years, I had lupus and I almost died many times. And it's only because of medicine that you can see me right now. So, 30 years ago, they gave me 6 months to live. Here I sit, right? One, because medicine's kept me alive for a dozen years. And then because I discovered the Goodbye Lupus protocol, reversed my disease, and I've been healthy now for almost 18. So I'm a fan of whatever keeps you going. And sometimes you need medicine to keep you alive. And I'm a fan of being alive. I am a fan of it. Whatever it takes, I will do whatever it takes so I can still show up here for not just for you, but for my kids, for my family, for myself. So try not to ignore that if you are very sick. Some folks are scaring me that they are really on the cusp of not being on this earth anymore. And there are people who can help them. And if you need that help, I'm just saying, maybe that's okay. Sometimes I see people, they're not choosing medicine, but they're not sticking to their diet. And I always tell them, if you're not using medicine and you're not doing my plan, you're choosing illness. So maybe while you're still figuring out your diet, you might need that. Now, not everybody does. Some people have pain, but their organs aren't failing and they can do without meds, and that's fine. But I just want to put it out there that I don't believe you need to ignore all of what Western medicine can provide. It's important to save your life, okay? On the same token, the other thing that's been bothering me this week is that you do need to advocate for yourself. Over and over again, I've been seeing folks, and of course, the folks who see me, obviously their doctors haven't helped them. They often are so sick and they're not getting the care they need. I can't even tell you the number of times I've seen people in kidney failure that when I look at their labs, you could see their kidney function has gone down over years and no one ever mentioned it to them. Every client I see tells me I'm the first doctor who's ever gone over every line of their labs with them. And I always do it. Even in my wellness sessions, even though I can't do medical care, I'll still help people understand, like, here's what this means. Here's what this is. People don't even know. Advocate for yourself. I had someone who wasn't able to walk and she went to the ER multiple times and they didn't run any tests. And I literally had to write a letter to her neurologist and say, I've met this lovely woman who has a fiance, who's a teacher that kids love, who was never given an MRI, even though she can't walk. I'm sure this was an oversight. Please help her. Within 2 weeks, she got that test done. I just saw someone yesterday who got a lung transplant, but the medicine they gave her for her lung transplant is destroying her kidneys, and she doesn't qualify for a kidney transplant, and nobody's doing anything. So I just wrote a letter about this lovely woman who's a grandmother and a wife and a daughter, and all the stuff that she's loved in her community. There must be a way that we can change her medicine so you wouldn't have saved her from lung failure just for her to die of kidney failure. Like I'm constantly doing this for folks where I'm trying to advocate for them because they are trying to get medical help and they're getting let down. If you're not getting the help you need, keep trying. It's your life. So keep going till you get the care. It does make sense to me I care a lot. It's why even in my appointments for wellness, there's 75 minutes. I want to get to know people. I want to help them. My patients, I will do whatever it takes for them. That's why I created things like rapid recovery, so I can work with people every single day to make sure that they don't fall through the cracks, that they get it right, that they get better. So I know I'm on the extreme end of that. And maybe it's because I was a patient first, although I think I was born this way. Like, I used to collect bugs when I was 3 years old just so people wouldn't step on them. Like, I've always have been, overly trying to help people, I guess. That's why I'm doing this right now. But if you don't have a doctor that's on your side and you need help, keep going, keep trying, don't give up, because you matter and you need to live. And if you want to take care of yourself and live longer and be healthy, well, I'm here to help. And I just talked to someone now who actually made my day, whose RA symptoms all went away within a few weeks of changing to my protocol when 5 different medicines didn't work. And she was telling me how grateful she was that really everything she needed to heal was already out there for free. Like that and that's what I do, because I want y'all to be well. So anyway, I had to get that off my chest. It's been a lot this week. I just want you all to be well. And since I can't be all of your doctor, make sure that you have the medical care you need, even while you're doing whatever it takes to get yourself healthy, so that you need less doctors. Because who wants to hang out with white coats all the time? I mean, I didn't marry a doctor. I didn't want to hang out with white coats all the time, and neither do you. Okay. All right. Let me get to my questions. I had to just release that. If only I could just take you all in, I would, I promise. All right. Let's see here. All right. Let's go to YouTube. So Jados wants to know, instead of regular coffee, can I drink instant caffeine-free malt coffee made of malted barley, grain coffee made of roasted barley, rye sugary, or matcha tea? Thank you. Yeah, absolutely you can. You can tell, hold on. I got myself emotional and I don't want to be, I don't want to be dripping while I'm trying to answer questions. Sorry. I get very emotional about people. That's why I also give my clients all my cell phone numbers. I'm like, if you need me, text me. Don't email me. Emails get lost. Like, just let me know so I can be there for you. I just want people to be all right. Okay, so I'm emotional today. What can I say? Let's see. So, yep, that's fine. Janos, enjoy your other drinks. Those should be fine. Just don't add sugar. Don't add sugar. Don't add dairy. That kind of thing. Let's see. Over to Facebook. I just see a name. That doesn't help. Okay, let's see here. See, Janos, you answered in both areas just in case. Okay. Let's see if I can find a question. Some of you just writing to say hello or whatever. Let me see. Make sure there's a question. Okay. Claudia Rivera wants to know, hello, is there a difference in milled flax seeds and whole flax seeds? Which is better? And what greens do you use in the smoothie? Okay, so Claudia, there's definitely a difference. So milled flax seeds have already been ground open. Now, you can use those in recipes. A lot of times people will use ground up flax seeds as an egg replacer, for example, in baking. It works very well. But if you're trying to use this for recovery, then you don't want to use the pre-ground or milled flax seeds, because those are already oxidized in terms of the omega-3. So while they're fine in terms of there's nothing wrong with them, you can have them and won't harm you. The reason I include flax seeds or chia seeds in my protocol is because I'm trying to increase people's omega-3s. Now, omega-3s readily and quickly oxidize when they're exposed to air or heat. So when you grind those seeds and open them up, you are now exposing the omega-3 fatty acids contained within those seeds to air, and they will oxidize quickly. So I don't count it as hypernourishment if you use them. Now, you can grind them yourself. And what I recommend is you grind them per order. So if you want to grind them up and throw them on top of your salad, or if you have a weak blender and you need to grind them first because you don't have a Vitamix or something that will grind them up well, then just grind up how much you're going to use right now, but don't store it that way, and that'll work fine. In terms of the greens for the smoothies, you want high nutrients. So where do you get that from? Cruciferous vegetables like kale, or you can use things like spinach. I usually go for power greens that I get from Costco, because you can buy 24-ounce bags. It's like 690-gram bags, which for my big family, that is really the most cost-efficient way to go in terms of getting greens. All right, let me see. Go over to Instagram. How's my Instagram today? Let's see here. Let me get to a question. Oh, hi from Bucks County, Valtenegro. That's where I went to high school, Bucks County. Oh, and thanks for the congrats to Solomon. Yep, my Solomon is. Yesterday we went to his honor society induction, and last week he won the district-wide speed cubing competition. That kid keeps himself busy and keeps us busy being proud of him. So both my kids are raised. It's just Solomon's been doing a lot this week. It's pretty cool. If you guys watch that video of him on my Instagram, that is not sped up. His fingers really move that quickly. It was amazing. All right, let me see. Lupus inspiration. Hi, thank you for all you do. You're welcome. I was wondering if lupus is okay to have oatmeal and beans. I have an appointment with you in July. Can't wait. Oh, now I can't wait too. Okay, so all right. Well, it really depends on what you're trying to do. So if you are trying to add hypernourishment and eat an otherwise non-inflammatory diet, then a lot of folks will use things like beans or oats in the meantime. And for some folks, it's really enough eating a plant-based diet where there's no meat, no oils, nothing processed, no dairy, but smoothies, salads, and some oats and beans. Some people do very well with that. I call that, really going for hypernourishment. Although in order for it to be hypernourishment, you have to get the amounts in. If you're trying to be more aggressive, or doing it that way is just not enough to get you symptom free, then we take those things out. So when we meet, I'll see how far you've gone with what you're doing, and then I will help you with what's next, whether it's turning up the volume, get you going a bit faster, or whether you're doing so well, we're going to plan your step down in recovery. So we'll see when you get there. But, it's up to you if you want to test it in addition to getting your hypernourishment in, or if you want to be more aggressive and just go full on into the Goodbye Lupus protocol. It's entirely up to you. But there's nothing damaging in it. It just, for some folks, will slow down their ability to recover to add those other things. All right, let me move my mic over here. All right, let's see here. All right. Contagious Music. Cool name. I enjoy everybody's social media names. All right. I'm a kidney transplant patient. I'm 80 to 100 pounds overweight. How much hypernutrition is good for those on immunosuppressive medicines for transplants of any kind? Would rapid recovery be too intense? So no, rapid recovery would not be too intense. It is just what the doctor ordered, at least this one. It really depends on your function. So if now that you have your kidney transplant, you are back to normal kidney function, we can go right into full Goodbye Lupus protocol, because we want to get rid of the reason that you needed that transplant to begin with, right? And whether it's lupus or anything else, I'm guessing that it is just because you're here with me, but maybe not. But we want to actually reverse whatever illness caused it. So if you have impaired kidney function, that's when I start changing the dosage of things, because we have to make it something that you can handle. Like the woman I talked to today who had 9% left of her kidney function, she can't hypernourish. There's no way. She won't be able to handle all of the nutrients because her kidneys don't function well enough. But if you had a transplant that's working well, you would just go full on into full hypernourishment. And if you really want to be aggressive, the Goodbye Lupus protocol, get yourself as healthy as possible. The same thing that optimizes disease reversal also optimizes metabolism and weight loss. If you are familiar with my story, those of you who are, that originally I did this protocol to lose weight. I didn't think you could use nutrition to reverse lupus. I'm a doctor. I would have learned about it in medical school if nutrition mattered, right? Never learned anything about nutrition and disease in medical school, but medical school helped me understand the impact of nutrition on cells when I took the time to study it. But I originally did this for weight loss, and I lost, 5 dress sizes and lupus. And it'll be 18 years in October since I have my first negative results, right? So if you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to lose autoimmune disease, you don't have to change the protocol. It's going to optimize your metabolism, which then helps you reverse disease and lose weight. Okay. And make sure you get some exercise too. Let's keep that kidney and get you healthy. All right. Let's see who's next here. All right. Let's see if we can help Susan. So Susan's saying, I'm not losing weight despite being on the Goodbye Lupus protocol. Help. I'm off my thyroid meds. I'm feeling better. Whoop. But still can't lose weight. I added the whoop. That wasn't her. What would you suggest I try? Okay, Susan. So first of all, congratulations getting off of your thyroid meds. I've gotten a lot of thyroid messages today from folks who are able to get off their thyroid meds from hypothyroid using the Goodbye Lupus protocol. Because again, the protocol is not specific to lupus. It's called that because that was my story. but it helps people with other autoimmune diseases, including Hashimoto's. So if you have gotten off your meds and you're feeling good and you need to lose more weight, the answer that nobody wants to hear is exercise. So I don't know what your weight is. You didn't write it, and that's okay. For people who are significantly overweight, obese, just the nutrition alone and maybe getting up and walking, they just lose tons of weight, 20, 30 pounds in a month. It's awesome, right? But if you've only got like 20 pounds to lose, you're going to have to work a lot harder to get your body to move it, because you can walk around all day carrying 20 pounds and it won't cause you to burn any extra weight off. So if you're feeling great, time to hit the gym. You can do high intensity interval training, using weights, using cardio. But when you do that, you're going to release the hormones that tell your body to burn that fat off. And that is the path to the weight loss. If you are in Smoothie Shred, I see your Facebook. So if you're in Smoothie Shred, my husband Thomas also has in the guides section how to interpret your weight to see if you really are not losing weight, or if maybe you are, but you're not seeing it. He has more specific instructions about that. Okay, let's see here. Instagram's turn. Hi, Instagram. Okay. I am Channel Chan. I know you. Can we eat olives on the hypernourishment protocol? Yes. Let me see. I'll get another one because that was a short answer. Well, Jano's got me on every area. Good for you. I like when people advocate for themselves. All right, B Bingham 32. If you have numbness and sensory problems with lupus, does it mean it's more serious? I'm really scared. It does not necessarily mean that. And I know lupus is a really scary diagnosis. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants any disease, right? And I know what it's like to be sick with lupus, and I know how scary it can be. There isn't necessarily a correlation that if you have it causing some kind of numbness or nerve issues, that it's going to be more severe than somebody else. I mean, really, for me, when I look at severity, I look at disability and mortality, right? So if your kidneys are failing, that is going to be extremely serious. They have to do something. I've seen people who have lupus in their brain that causes them to have multiple seizures a day, or psychosis that causes a lot of disability. So it's not necessarily what kind of symptom you have, but how much disability and pain and the risk of your life that comes with it. That said, I have not seen a difference based off symptom on ability to respond to the Goodbye Lupus protocol. So if you're feeling scared, first of all, that's okay. Just use that fear to drive you to go all out and get healthy, okay? Sometimes when people are scared, they shut down and they don't do everything that they could do because they're just kind of get paralyzed by it. But if you could be scared and use it to go after and say, you know what, I'm scared. I do not want to get any sicker. I'm going to do this protocol 100%, and I'm going to live my life and enjoy it as much as I can also, because we don't get to choose how we wake up feeling each day, but we can be grateful that we woke up and try to make that day good. And I speak as a survivor myself, not in any kind of patronizing way. I know it's hard sometimes to wake up feeling like garbage and enjoy your day, but I try to always find a reason why it was a good day, and that got me through the worst of it. So try to remember what's good. Don't focus on just catastrophizing like how scary this is, but also what's good, like all the possibilities you have right now. You are getting it now in this day and time where there are treatments, where there's a protocol like mine that's given free to the public, that's saving lives every day. There's so much hope, and you're still here. So there's no reason to think that you can't get healthy too. So just do whatever it takes to get healthy, okay? All right, I'm seeing some questions related to my group. There are some spots left, but we're down to the last of them. So my expectation at the rate that they're going right now will probably be sold out for the group starting May 19th. We'll probably be sold out by next week. All right, either depends how quickly, but either by the end of this week or next week, we'll probably be sold out. We always sell out by 2 weeks before the group starts, sometimes sooner. So if you are someone who wants to just deal with me every day, and have that kind of help and oversight. The Rapid Recovery Group is the most popular, and it's wonderful, and people are healing in it right now. So it's at goodbyelupus.com if you want to join. And like I said, it is really close to selling out now. I haven't checked since this morning to see the spots, but this morning I was like, oh, okay, we're getting to those last ones. So just don't wait, because no matter how much tears I shed while reading your email asking me to add more people, I won't do it, because it would sacrifice how much coaching and help the people who are in it will get. And right now we give a ton of help and support, and I don't want to put more people in and then be able to help less, So, okay. Same thing with my appointments, it kind of goes to what I was talking to earlier. I know right now I'm booked till like September. If you do a rush add-on, I'll come in early as soon as I can, which right now a rush appointment's 8 weeks, which is actually pretty good, since most rheumatologists are like a year out, but people sometimes get frustrated with me that they can't get in sooner. But the only way I could see more people would be to take less time with people, and I'm just not willing to sacrifice it. I could see 10, 20 people a day like other doctors, and, get paid and get all those people in the schedule. But I wouldn't be able to help as much. And I think that's one of the reasons why people get crappy care, is because they get like 10 minutes of someone's time. I like getting all of that time in with people so that I can truly make a difference. So the sacrifice that I make is I see less people, but they get more time. And I do have those rush appointments as an option. But right now, the fastest way to work with me is the May group. I have a 4-week rapid recovery that's one-on-one with me. Right now, the next spot would be end of May, but as soon as that's gone, we'll be in June. So just so you know, I forgot to mention it sooner, and I want those of you who are thinking about it to know. All right, let's see over here. Oh, let me just refresh this water so you don't have to listen to that. My apologies. One moment while I fill my water cup from my gallon jug. All right. If I'm telling you to do it, it's because I do it. Okay. Okay. Let's try that again with a clear voice. All right. Let's see here. All right, Recovery Coconut wants to know, can the Goodbye Autoimmune Disease protocol work for stopping the growth of thyroid nodules or shrinking them when thyroid function is normal? My doctor has ruled out cancer but wants to do a thyroidectomy. It depends on the cause. So I don't know your case, so I can't tell you yes or no, and I don't like to make things up. If it is inflammatory, like these nodules are being caused by inflammation, let's say from either Hashimoto's or Graves', then absolutely we can see improvement. And I have seen that before. I don't know what the biopsy said or why your doctor is eager to take it out. So I can't really comment further on the best course of action. You can always do that. I mean, sometimes people like to hedge their bets and say, okay, doctor wants to take it out. I'll set the date for the surgery, and then I'll go full Goodbye Autoimmune Disease protocol, nonstop, just all out. And then see how I do, and then like get another checkup like a few days before the surgery scheduled to see where you stand. And if you're better, then hey, I mean, I've done that before with Crohn's. I had a guy who they were trying to schedule him to get his intestines removed, permanently because of Crohn's. And we did 4-week rapid recovery and got him off of needing surgery. But it was like, I'd rather see people before they are emergencies like that. But yeah, so without knowing more about your case, I can't really tell you more than that, but there's definitely something that you can try and find out. Or you can always schedule with me if you want me to look at your case more closely. Let's see here. And Camille wants to know, do you have experience working with people with Parkinson's? Just a couple. And they've both done extremely well. One, his doctor is shocked that he is progressed, like he hasn't progressed very much. Like he was diagnosed and he's basically stayed the same and done really well. He is not religious about the protocol, but mostly plant-based and hypernourishment every day. And he's pretty stable. The other one did rapid recovery with me and was able to come down off medicines and visibly reduce his symptoms. But then he went back to eating animal products and immediately his symptoms came back. So good results testing, but 2 cases, but two pretty good cases. So worth doing. Let me see over to Facebook side. All right. Angela wants to know, I have lupus and now interstitial cystitis. Can plant-based diet cure the cystitis? I'm finding it difficult to live with. I agree. Cystitis is awful. I also dealt with that and it was excruciating. For those of you who don't know, cystitis feels like you have a, excuse me, cystitis feels like you have a UTI every day. Just constant feeling of bladder infection and just torture. Yes, I found that for me. So back when I changed my diet, it all went away and it was wonderful. And then when I first became lupus free, it's important to understand, I didn't know at the time that my diet had anything to do with it because I was a new resident that just graduated med school and I'd had lupus for 12 years and there was no connection between lupus and diet, right? Or I would have learned about that. So I didn't know at first that was connected. Nobody knew what was going on with me or why I was better. So it was just kind of like a guess, who knows? So at the time, I actually did experiment with adding some things back that I had taken out for my weight loss. And my body rejected it. And one of those things was eggs. So I had been a vegetarian and I'd given up eggs and milk to lose all that weight. I'd lost all the weight. And so I was like, oh, I'm in remission. Well, I didn't know about remission, but my weight was in remission. I was good. And I was like, oh, I might add some of those eggs back. And quickly my cystitis came back. And I went to the doctor. I had, they tried to give me steroids into my bladder through my urethra. Then I started getting hives from that and they just fired me. They're like, well, we don't know what else to do. And they fired me. And I'm like, but wait, you can't just fire me. I'm still sick. I hurt every day. And they're like, oh, well, we can't help you. And I cried. Being fired by your doctor because they don't know how to help you and you're just doomed to suffer. Bad feeling, even if you're a doctor yourself. Then my brilliant husband was the one who said, it went away before. And maybe the reason that your lupus is better than other things, maybe it's related to the changes we made, maybe adding the eggs back. That's the only thing you did. Took the eggs out, within a few days, it was gone. And then I tested it again after a month of no symptoms. I had one omelet, boom, I was burning the next day. And I was like, all right, convinced. So even before I knew about what the protocol had done for me, which we hadn't really studied until a few years later when I gave birth to my son and I still had no relapse. That's when we really studied the impact of nutrition on my recovery and my immune system. I found that food had a big impact. There's a lot of things that can impact this, and you may need to use medicines and treatments in the meantime. One of the things I find helps with cystitis is not having your bladder feel so overly full all the time, which is hard on my program. So I recommend that you kind of space out your water intake. Like if you're going to do 96 ounces of water a day, split that into like 6 or 7 small doses and have like a cup of water every couple hours. Just chug it every couple hours rather than like a sipping and dripping and overly feeling like your bladder is full. And that can also help for those of you who have some level of incontinence. But hopefully you're feeling better from all those things really soon. Let's see here. Our Instagram. This is an interesting question, and I'll answer it even though I don't really have an answer for you, but just so you know, I saw it. Shamarani wants to know, I wanted laser hair removal. Could I do this with lupus or is it not advisable due to photosensitivity? I don't know. I have no idea how laser hair removal would be affected by that. What I can tell you is I decided this year to do that for myself. I decided, being in my late 40s now, that I would like to not have to do all this shaving anymore. And I have not had a problem. I've had 3 sessions and I have not had any problem, but I have not had lupus for almost 18 years. So I don't know if that would react the same way. And I don't know if anybody knows that. I would look up studies to see, like, have they looked at laser hair removal and lupus or autoimmune disease. So yeah, it's not the same as like the radiation you would get from the sun. So I don't know if it would affect photosensitivity. So I don't know, but it's an interesting question nonetheless. But I'm actually excited. It worked right away. And so I was nervous to try it all those years. I can say it hurts. It definitely hurts. Anyway, let's see. So Tissay says, do you treat COPD, pulmonary disease? Absolutely. Yeah. And I've had extraordinary results helping people with lung disease. Oftentimes when people come to me, it's because of inflammatory lung disease from autoimmune diseases. I've mentioned before, we had a gentleman in my rapid recovery group who's in his 70s who was on the transplant list for a double lung transplant from autoimmune disease. Week 5, they kicked him off the transplant list because his lungs were so much better. I've also seen reversal of lung disease from asthma, COVID. So it's definitely something good for your lungs, and I would recommend it if you are not doing that already. Okay, let's see over here. All right, let's see what. All right, this is an interesting question. I've never been asked this before, so I have to go to Calvin. Can I put raw quinoa in my smoothie? My first answer is why? My second answer is no. No, I wouldn't do that. I don't see any reason that you would do that. Sometimes people want to try to alter my smoothies. Don't do it. They are perfectly designed for hypernourishment to help you get all the nutrients you need for your cellular function. Sometimes people really want to make changes. They're trying to gain weight, do other things. Add things to the rest of your diet, but just leave the smoothies. They are right. The way they are right. And raw quinoa, I've never even heard of anyone eating raw quinoa. So again, I'm like, why? I don't know. I don't know, Calvin. That's a new one. But don't add them to my smoothies, okay? All right. Lonnie. Oh, cute dog, Lonnie. Week 5 on healing protocol. I don't know which. I'm guessing goodbye, Lupus. Want to get pregnant? Still breastfeeding with the first child. Drinking smoothies daily, sticking to diet. Should I still take prenatal vitamins with all this nutrition? Worried I'll get too much. So great question. Currently, I mean, most likely you are getting plenty of nutrition, all the nutrition you need if you're doing hypernourishment, right? That said, I still recommend people take their prenatal vitamins because why mess with it? You know, if it's something that can be helpful. So yeah, is it necessary? Probably not, but I took prenatal vitamins. I took the ones that were whole food supplements. I think it was called Rainbow Light. It's been a while. I got a 10-year-old and a 14-year-old, but I think they were called Rainbow Light. I'm pretty sure. And I took those, although it also depends how you do over pregnancy too. Like I can't hypernourish when I'm pregnant because I just throw up like it's my job. So I definitely still wanted vitamins while I was pregnant. But yeah, just as a safety, I usually do. You can't overdose in nutrition from food. So if you're getting stuff from your vitamins and then you're eating healthy foods, you won't overdose like you can if you just take more and more vitamins. So I haven't seen that be a problem. And you're giving some good breast milk to your kid. Let's see here. Okay, Instagram. Okay. Fitness blender junkie. Love it. My grandmother has one kidney. She takes half of 1,000 microgram vitamin D, B12 daily. Could she take full amount daily if healthy? If absorption is worse as you age, she's near 90. Love her that she is 90. That's a question for her doctor. So her nephrologist would be a much better person to ask about what her kidneys can handle versus me where I don't know her or about her health. Okay. 500 micrograms is often enough for people to maintain it. So they'll want to test how high her B12 is. And her nephrologist would be the right person to say what dose she can handle. Okay, let's see. All right. All right, Ellison 366. What protocol would you advise? I've had 2 cancer surgeries, hysterectomy, mastectomy, recent heart failure issues. I'm diabetic. I'm on a lot of meds, and I'm restricted to 1 liter, I'm guessing, of water. First of all, wow. Look at you. Your body wants to live, right? Look at everything you've been through, and that heart's still beating, and you're alive right now on social media, right? Looking for ways to live more. So good for you. I'm always incredibly amazed at the human body, both how fragile it can be, but also how resilient, right? And so first of all, I'm just glad that you are still here and you're still trying to get healthy. You can't do full hypernourishment, but you can do everything but the water. And that should work to help you. I've helped people with their hearts as well as all these other issues that you're talking about. So you would just do hypernourishment, but keep the water restriction as your doctor recommends it so you don't overload your heart. And hopefully if your heart can get healthier, then you might be able to increase it. right? So first we have to get your heart healthy. This is not something that just helps one thing. I know, especially there's a lot of other folks out there that really want to keep me like in the autoimmune lane. And listen, I've been driving this lane a long time. I've helped a lot of people, but it's also very, very helpful for other organ systems, including your heart. I've done case studies, presentations where I know like my classes that I put out, those are, you know, I haven't done them again because they work. For those of you who are like, give us new case studies, like it took me a long time to film those. And they work. The information there is good, and they work. So, but there's a case that I love to teach now, that where a whole family got saved by my protocol one at a time. So first, Rachel, who's made videos for me, who reversed her Sjogren's and lupus while pregnant. She's now had another baby, even recently during the pandemic. Never had a relapse. Never needed meds again. Her husband reversed diabetes, and then his mother had what the doctors called a fatal heart attack. They actually called him from the hospital in Israel, and he's in the States, and said, you need to come and say goodbye because this is a fatal heart attack. She will not come back from this. And his wife had just recovered from her autoimmune disease while pregnant. And so he said, maybe there's another miracle left in this. And he brought the blender to the ICU in Israel. I don't know how he got in there, but he brought the blender in there, and he gave his mother nothing but my green smoothie recipes. And in 5 days, she walked out of the hospital. And she has not had another heart attack. She's lost all this weight. Her blood sugar is now under control. She's healthy now. And still here after what was supposed to be a fatal heart attack. And she's had multiple stents, multiple bypass surgeries. Her chest pain went away. Everything went away. Literally, they gave her smoothies, and she emerged from it. So it really is, again, it's a protocol that optimizes cellular repair. And what I love about that story is that Rachel and her husband Nir they have a little herd of kids now, and their kids are being raised on hyper-nourishing plant-based diets. And they will never have diabetes, autoimmune disease, heart disease, all of these things that have been destroying the lives of their family members. Those kids don't get to have that. So we can protect our children. We can change the trajectory of our future generations by taking care of ourselves. It's a really cool story. That's the short version, but it's awesome. But that is to say that there is still hope left for your heart too, right? So all of you guys that are dealing with that, whether it's blood pressure or other types of heart issues, this can still make a huge difference. But you do need to work with your doctor, because if you're on water restriction, you don't want to overload, all right? It can back up into your lungs. You can't handle it. So listen to your doctor about water restriction. Okay. All right, over here, let's see. Okay, so Carlos, this is a question I get asked a lot. I buy fresh kale, wash it, put it in the freezer for at least a day. Does using frozen kale, spinach, etc., reduce the benefits significantly compared to raw? Thank you. You can try it, and if it works for you, that's great. But I don't consider it hypernourishment unless it's fresh. Because remember, hypernourishment is an intentional overdose in the nutrition your body uses to repair damage. And I'm trying to optimize that nutrition. And when you freeze, there is some nutrition loss. How much? Very hard to quantify. So I just don't count it as hypernourishment. Like when someone's in a program with me, like in my group, don't count it. That's not to say that you're not getting benefit, and it might be enough. It's just I'm very concrete about protocol, because I don't like there to be kind of weird outliers or fuzzy areas. So if it's working for you, fantastic. But if you want to really be 100% on the plan, then you would use fresh. Okay. Inyola wants to know causes of leg muscle cramps. It could be a lot of things. One, it could be medications. When I took prednisone, man, I would get terrible cramps. I remember one time I had such a bad Charlie horse in my leg. My mom was running the bath to try to, because the hot water would help. I got in with my pants on because I was in so much pain. I just jumped right in. So medications can do it. Prednisone, diuretics, they can do it. Also, if you've suddenly increased your water intake, but not your sodium intake to match it, low sodium can cause it. For some folks, it might be things like potassium and calcium, but on my protocol, you're getting plenty of potassium and calcium. So it's more likely to be those other things. Some people just need a supplement like magnesium to help with those cramps, but make sure it's not your sodium, and also talk to your doctor in case it is actually your your medicines that are causing that. All right, let's see what Instagram says. Let me see here. I think, am I not? Hey, can you check Instagram or YouTube and Facebook for me? Somebody on Instagram says I'm not live there, but on my app here, it says I am. So I just want to make sure that I am. Thank you for letting me know, just in case. Let's see. Okay, Rod TT710. I have MS. I don't want to take medications. Any suggestions? One is refer to what I said when I started. If you have progressing disease and you need to slow it down and medicines can help, it's something to consider. But I have had fantastic results in my Goodbye Autoimmune Disease protocol with MS. We got to take action quickly, though, because you don't want it to progress. In my rapid recovery group, I've had people who have done it and they've been able to reverse it and even have their most recent lesion off their MRI go away. The old lesions tend to stick around. Those are already solidified. But that's what I would do. But don't rule out medicine just in case it can help. Leo, I'm streaming? Okay. So I think I was like 2 minutes late today. So maybe that's why. Sorry. I was running, but I think I was like 2 minutes late. But thanks for letting me know. It's always good to have people have my back just in case. All right, let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to find another one that would work for something different. Let's see. So I'm looking. So a lot of these are repeats or things I've answered already. Okay, here's a good one. Health and gymnastics wellness. Is it true that you need to rest in order to heal? When I say rest, I mean I'm an athlete and I'm told I can't exercise at the same time as detox. Okay, it is true that your body repairs itself while you're sleeping. So it is important to get enough sleep. That said, exercise is great for your health and your recovery. So if you have energy and you want to exercise, do it. That's wonderful. But if you're feeling exhausted and you're pushing yourself when you really need to rest, that's when you need to be careful. Okay. So just base it off of that. I do not agree with folks who say like, don't exercise when you're sick. If you're feeling up to it, right? If you're feeling good, awesome. Because what exercise does is you're going to increase your heart rate and you're going to then push all that blood, which is now really nutrient rich from all of those nutrients that you're eating from hypernourishment. And you're going to push that blood with more force into all the different organs of the body, the eyes down to the toes, right? Down to the fingernails, right? Let's just get as much blood flow as possible to every single organ. So that's one of the benefits that exercise will help, as well as all the positive endorphins as well. So if you're feeling good and you want to go do that gymnastics, go for it. But again, do listen to your body in terms of if you're feeling kind of run down, maybe just do a little gentle walking and take a rest day. Listen to yourself in that area. A lot of times with detox, people feel better a lot faster if they get some gentle exercise and if they're just laying around. Okay. Let's see. Yes, Timon, you can soak your chia seeds, but you still have to grind them up somehow. Let's see. Welcome, Janet, saying you're new. All right, this is a cool one. Anna wants to know, can someone with gastroparesis be helped with your diet? Yes, I have now gotten to work with a large amount of people with gastroparesis, large amount considering that it's supposed to be a fairly rare diagnosis. Great success at getting people able to eat again and eat well. I had someone who did my 4-week rapid recovery program who could only eat a couple ounces of food at a time. Her weight was in the 80s because she could barely get any food in. So those of you who aren't familiar, gastroparesis is a condition where your stomach just doesn't empty. It's so slow. And so you can't eat. So this woman was just tiny. And for some reason, she's just said, you know what? I'm afraid of losing more weight, but I can't live this way. So she joined my rapid recovery private program. And helping her with her food spacing and food choices, within a couple weeks, she was eating 16 ounces a day of cruciferous vegetables. By the end of 4 weeks, she was eating 24 ounces a day, 1.5 pounds. no more gastroparesis issues and was gaining weight, even though she was eating raw foods. I have somebody else who has gastroparesis who's been seeing me weekly. So instead of doing like my group or my 4-week program, she's kind of booked weekly appointments, and I've been working on her diet. And within just from the first appointment, she was able to start. She was eating no raw foods. She was able to start eating raw foods, getting her water intake up. She is eating now like more than quadruple what she was eating before. She's eating so much food now, and she's able to have the food move through just fine. So it's a combination of using the most healing foods, but also helping people with food portion size and spacing to help them actually get their stomach into the habit of emptying, because we have to retrain the stomach to work again. But usually the results happen very, very quickly, even for folks who've had it for many years. So yes, very, very good results with gastroparesis. No, all right, I have to answer this one. Me Sikinya. I have a friend with Crohn's disease, and her integrative doctor wants to put her on the carnivore diet. I'd love your feedback on that. Will this help with Crohn's disease? First of all, tell her to run as fast as she can from that doctor. That is a surefire way to make sure that she ends up with a colon removal surgery. It is inflammatory to the colon. She definitely should not do that. That doctor needs to know that we're not carnivores. And that diet is, if it doesn't make her intestines work, it's worse. It's going to make more autoimmune disease, increase her risk of heart disease, cancer. That is a death diet. Anyway, so bad news, okay? I have incredible results with Crohn's. So far, everyone who's done my rapid recovery program with Crohn's that I can even think of in recent years, every one of them has been able to reverse it completely. Usually in 4 to 5 weeks, we already have test results that show they don't have inflammation. The calprotectin in their stool is gone. It's absolutely incredible, and it's fast. Now, not everyone can go right into the most extreme protocol. It depends on how stable their colons are. Some people, they're on the meds and they can just eat whatever. Other folks are actively bleeding from the rectum, and I have to go more slowly. But I have a really good record of reversing Crohn's, and we can do it in a way that actually nourishes your friend and gets them healthier rather than putting them at risk for all those other diseases that I said before. Run from that doctor. I know, well, it's not a doctor, right? It's integrated. Yeah, run. Let me see here. Okay. So Catherine wants to know, I'm in UK on the Goodbye Lupus protocol. Can Goodbye Lupus or rapid recovery reverse primary hyperparathyroid disease and subsequent osteoporosis? The UK doctors think it's an adenoma. So, depends on the cause, right? So if it's inflammatory cause, then yes, this is the best thing to do. If it's from a tumor, then possibly, but personally, and again, I'm just speaking personally, if I had a tumor, I would remove it. This is one of those things where, like I said, I'm not anti-medicine. If I had a tumor or a cancer, personally, I would remove the physical evidence and then use my nutrition to handle all of the microscopic stuff that remains. But it really sounds like you need more workup if they think it's an adenoma, but they're not sure yet. One thing you can do, which is wonderful, is you can still do the protocol while they're running all the diagnostics and see what happens, because you don't even need a diagnosis to be able to use nutrition to get your health back. That's what's so wonderful about it, right? Okay, let's see here. Let's look over to Instagram. Did Liddy wants to know, can lupus in the skin be cured? It definitely can be reversed. I mean, I don't have my lupus rashes anymore. I've helped a lot of folks with skin lupus get their skin healthy again. So you can absolutely reverse that disease, and you need to go for it. If in the meantime, you have to take precautions and do that. I know folks want to have like one smoothie and then run out into the sun and hope for the best, but you might need some time to get this working for yourself and get healthy before you can back off of the other treatments that you're doing. And Being Vegan wants to know, is it safe for me to do this while pregnant? Yes. I have helped people reverse their diseases and get healthy on this protocol while pregnant, either early pregnancy or even at the end of pregnancy and in the middle. Although the hardest part about being pregnant and hypernourishment is whether or not you can keep it down. Like I said, for me, I can't hypernourish from pregnant, so I have to be healthy going into it. And I wasn't even going to get pregnant until I was lupus free, because I wanted to be alive. And my doctors told me that I could die. And my husband wanted me alive. So I only did that after I was healthy. But it's sometimes hard to do. So the best thing you do is use the protocol first, get yourself super healthy, but absolutely you can do it during pregnancy. Think about it. I mean, you're going to build your baby out of the healthiest nutrition possibly around. The nutrition that can reverse dangerous diseases and give you your health back also gives you a healthy baby. The women who have done this pregnant, we call their babies the Hulk babies because they are born smart and fit and like energetic. They are like just robust, robust babies. So yes, absolutely. Let's see here. Ocho Adina, yes, you can add cabbage to your smoothies. I would not add monk fruit sweeteners. CV Leon, Nate 17. Let's not add sweeteners. Let's see. And Chantel wants to know Graves' disease and secondary infertility. Does this help for fertility? Absolutely. What we found is this helps optimize health. And so we have had quite a number of oopsies in my rapid recovery program from people who thought they were infertile. And once they'd gotten through rapid recovery, they were fertile. And there's been some some good surprises. Well, we'll call them all good surprises, but definitely unexpected. And other folks who've done it for fertility and have done well. Even in our Smoothie Shred group, we've had people who have reported that they've had their first pregnancy without needing to get fertility treatments after doing our program. So absolutely, it is the best thing you can do. I can't predict results. I don't know all the different things that are factoring into it, but this will optimize your ability to optimize your health and give you a chance at all these different goals you have, including fertility. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Robin wants to know, do smoothies need a full pound of greens to get results for the hypernourishment protocol? It doesn't have to all be in your smoothie. Hypernourishment is just the amount of food you get by the end of the day. So if you get some, let's say you put 12 ounces in your smoothie and then you eat 4 ounces in your salad, that could still count as hypernourishment if you're getting everything else in. A lot of times people will tell me that they're hypernourishing, but they're not, because they're not getting all the omega-3 in, or they're not getting all the water in. You only get to use that term if you're hitting all the numbers, but it can be by the end of the day. It doesn't have to be all in the smoothie. The smoothie is just an easy way to hypernourish. All right, let's see. All right. Kareem says vitiligo since 2018. Citric sour foods to avoid. Concerned about lemon juice. Your thoughts, please. Adrenal shot since 2004. Lost a lot of weight, although very slim. Left job 2009. All right. I have had good results with vitiligo, including repigmentation. Not full, but the most recent parts that had lost pigmentation came back. In the couple people that I've worked with specifically for that. I have not seen an issue specifically with citrus. If you react to citrus, don't use it, and use other fruits and vegetables. And this can help with all of those things, including your adrenals. Sometimes people worry about being slim, but it depends on why you are. And if you got slim because you were sick, then nourishing yourself back to health will give you the ability to gain healthy weight when you are healthy. Let me see. All right. Let me see a couple more. Let me see. Lauren wants to know if this could help with endometriosis. Yes, I've had people recover from endometriosis, especially in rapid recovery. And Sora says, sometimes I speak so fast. I'm sorry. Couple of reasons why I do that. One, I grew up in New York, and rapid is a normal speed in New York. Two, I don't want people to fall asleep on me. And three, I'm trying to answer as many questions as I can. So I apologize if sometimes it's too quickly for you. I'm doing my best. Let me see here. Okay. And Lena wants to know, will you explain about psoriasis and how the protocol will affect it? I bought all your books. I've been watching all the videos. I'm plant-based, 80% raw. I've been doing the green smoothies from the Smoothie Shred website. Well, it sounds like you're on your way. So psoriasis is an autoimmune disease that primarily affects the skin, although people can also develop arthritis. And there's different types of skin lesions that people can get with psoriasis. They can show up with different ways. Although most common are the scaly ones. Oftentimes it starts out in places like the scalp, the groin, under the arms, but it could really spread anywhere. So yeah, psoriasis has been interesting because for most folks, psoriasis recovers very quickly in my rapid recovery program. There have been some cases where it's been a bit harder, where we're working more with people to try to figure out sensitivities. So there's cases that you can see where you can look at videos where, people who've had it since 8 years old, they don't have it anymore. The arthritis is gone. They feel amazing. But most recently, there's been some interesting cases where we had to just do a bit more. 2 cases I've seen where someone had a salt sensitivity. So we had to do more water restriction because they couldn't handle the sodium without getting rashes. One gentleman, exercise gave him the breakthrough. There's someone working with now where we think there's some environmental issue going on, because when he travels to a different area, it gets better. And then when he goes back home, it gets worse. So there seems to be a lot more factors. And part of me wonders if it's all psoriasis, or if some of it is not psoriasis, but looks like psoriasis, because the factors that some people are dealing with are a bit different. So in general, my Goodbye Autoimmune Disease protocol has been sufficient and works really well. But there have been some more complex cases lately where we've had to do a bit more work. And that's why I love doing things like rapid recovery, because once I watch somebody every day, I can make sure the nutrition is right. And if we're not getting where we need to, now it's time to look for weird stuff to see if we can find anything else. But for most folks, just doing what you're doing, and especially the full protocol, has been sufficient and really profound in reversing it. So let's see here. Let's see. And then Kathy says, hair loss after 3 months on my smoothies. The MG has all but left the building. So I'm guessing you mean myasthenia gravis, which is amazing, by the way. So everyone congratulate her. But the hair loss could be from COVID 6 months ago. Any idea? I'm still on the same Armour thyroid for 18 years, and that's all good. So normally your thyroid is definitely somewhere we look. COVID definitely has a whole syndrome of hair loss after the fact. I would still look at things like your iodine level, just in case sometimes people aren't taking their daily iodine. And if you have Hashimoto's or hypothyroid, you need 300 micrograms a day. So look at that as well. But if you're super nourished, if you're doing Goodbye Autoimmune Disease protocol, you're getting your daily iodine, then you should expect it all to come back. That's usually what people see, is hair and nails just start to grow like wild. And I can attest to that for sure. Okay. Insta, let's see. All right, we're at the end, but let me just get another few in. Yes, Rezan Maria. So pericarditis, any kind of itis is inflammatory. So definitely get on the full Goodbye Autoimmune Disease protocol, okay? And, for those of you who are struggling, listen, I do all this work for free because this is my goal. Is you don't need me. You don't need doctors. Like, you just do what it takes to get healthy. And I'm so excited. I just got an email. I'll have to share it with you guys, of someone she healed her daughter from lupus nephritis completely. And then her father-in-law also healed from his illness. And it was all off my free content, right? Like, this is what I want, is for you guys to just take this and run. And if you are trying and you can't get there, that's why I have things like my rapid recovery group. So if you are struggling to do everything right and you're suffering, or you've got organ damage where you can't give this time to play and practice and you need to know it's right, those are the reasons to actually work with me and do something like my group, okay? Sparka, I have lupus, tried to email you. I'm sorry. I get overwhelmed with emails. So every day I answer as many as I can, and then I have to go out there and be with my kids. And so if I got you that day, you think I'm so amazing that I'm so responsive. And if I missed you, then I suck because I didn't answer. So try again. You could have written the question here, though. I would have seen it. But try again. And you can try like all caps from Instagram. All caps often gets my attention when I'm trying to go through my emails and help. But I'm doing the best I can. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm not better at the emails. All right. And then Liz, I'm on AIP plant-based diet, was doing well for years. All of a sudden I feel tired, fingers are numb, pins and needles, cold. I'm worried. Are my meds too low? My thyroid removed? I don't know. I also don't know what you're doing on the AIP because that's not my protocol. So I would say do the Goodbye Lupus protocol. Make sure that your B12 is sufficient, since pins and needles sometimes can cause that. Get a workup from your doctor to see if there's anything obvious that's causing it. And if you're not finding anything, then go ahead and do the Goodbye Lupus protocol. Make sure you get that hyper-nourishment in. All right, one more on this side and on each of them, and then I do have to go. Let me see. Okay. SPIV, is there an issue with loose stool sometimes? Very liquidy. Some days I eat a lot of fruit and drinking water, but concerned. Yeah, it is not an issue if your stool is mushy sometimes, especially if you're doing lots of water and lots of smoothies. It is very common to have mushy stool and it's not a problem. So that is totally okay. As long as it's not like explosive diarrhea, then we got to back some things up. I guess kind of literally, but no, we have to often spread things out, maybe change your amounts of things. But if it's just mushy, smoothie in, smoothie out kind of deal, is totally fine. Okay, and then this last one, Sarah, can you explain the process of how to reintroduce food after hypernourishing? Can you stay vegan? Do you stay vegan, or do you try or can you try animal products? So first of all, hypernourishment stays. If it took like pounds of of vegetables and omegas and water and all this stuff to get your health back, don't give that up. Make that your new normal. In October, I will be lupus free for 18 years. I have normal kidney function after kidney failure. I have no blood clots. I'm a healthy 46-year-old woman, and yet still I drink my smoothies every day. I got my jug of water here. Why? I want to stay that way. And the good news is when you keep up hypernourishment, you will have greater than normal health. What I love is that I was the sickest person in the room 30 years ago, and now I'm the healthiest person in the room in my 40s. It is pretty darn cool. And I remember, you know, being a teenager and seeing all these other kids just healthy living their lives, and I'm going to chemo and how unfair that was, right? But now I'm 46 and I have zero health problems. My colonoscopy, I have the colon of a teenager. Same with getting my mammogram. Looks like way too young. All right, all my tests say everything looks way too young on me. Why? Because of this. My same friends who were fine when I was 16, they now have high blood pressure. They've had cancer, diabetes. A guy I dated in medical school died of a heart attack a couple of years ago, and he was healthy when I was getting my mini strokes and taking injections every day. He was healthy. Now he's dead, and I'm fine, normal. So never stop hypernourishing. That is the key to disease reversal, but also optimal health. And why not keep optimal health if you have a choice, right? So if you found the fountain of youth, keep it, protect it, love it, kiss it, but never give it up. Okay, so that's number one. Hypernourishment is not temporary. Now, if you have to do like goodbye lupus protocol, goodbye autoimmune disease protocol to get your health back, then one of the most important things you can do besides continuing to hypernourish is do not ever eat the poisons that got you sick again. Why? Right? Listen, I was a cheese addict at one point and an egg addict. I ate those things every day, all day long, and I had lupus. I will not ever eat those things again. So what I have found is, so first of all, once you've used this and reversed your disease and you're healthy, and I hope you're asking me that because you are feeling good, which is wonderful. First of all, celebrate, like have a party, travel, you know, do indoor skydiving or outdoor if you want, like celebrate like wild because you did something amazing and you deserve to celebrate. Okay. Number two, stay healthy. Reintroduce foods that are cooked plant foods one at a time, like one new food every few days to a week. Maybe add some sweet potatoes, maybe add some quinoa, tofu, but you are going to slowly introduce things to make sure that you don't have an unknown trigger that you didn't know about before. You do not add anything inflammatory back. I like to see people healthy for at least 6 months before I let them even consider adding something that could cause inflammation. Why? Right? Because you have a nice scab over that big wound. You don't want to flick it off. You want to let that fully heal. And anytime you add something inflammatory, you could flick that off. Now you're bleeding again. And why? So give yourself at least 6 months of great health, normal labs, before you even consider the occasional inflammatory item. I call it recreational eating, which is eating to get high instead of eating for your health. Normally, people who've been healthy 6 months or more can handle a little bit of inflammatory foods here and there, like oil or alcohol or sugar. But the people who have relapsed, most of the time, it's been because they added back the animal products. So I really recommend just stay plant-based. If you had the miracle of disease reversal and getting your health back, then embrace it and just don't think of that stuff as food anymore. All right. So stay plant-based, keep hypernourishing, and then just tell all your friends so that they can all grow old healthy with you and enjoy the fact that you're super healthy. All right. I think that was pretty good. We answered a lot of questions. We shared, I cried. We did all that stuff together. I'm really, really happy to get to spend this time with you every week. I do my best to answer as many questions as I can, try to get some new ones in for you, and to encourage you. This is something you can do, all right? Even while you're going to doctors, even while you're trying to figure out what's wrong with you, you can nourish yourself. And it is powerful. Nothing has been more powerful in my practice or in my own life than nutrition. And I share this freely with you because I want you to do what it takes to get healthy. I can't go into your kitchen. I can't knock the burger out of your hand, but I can try to let you know the right path and encourage you to take it. All right. So it's worth it. You'll never regret it. It is super worth it. So make sure you take good care of yourself. And those of you who are planning to join my group, now's the time to make sure you got your spot. Okay. GoodbyeLupus.com. The rest of you, hopefully I'll see you next week. And I hope you take great care of yourself. Good to see all of you guys interacting with me. I'm getting to know all these names and I enjoy seeing y'all back. All right. Have a great rest.